Hi, welcome back to Call for Wisdom. My name is Deborah, and today I'm going to talk to you women, sisters, women out there on the internet, about how female sexual desire and arousal can be fueled by biblical marriage. And what I mean by biblical marriage is marriage that is followed by the standards of or defined by what's written in the Bible, and giving the man the option for practicing polygamy, which is one man with many more wives, more than just one wife. But biblical marriage on its own, with all its instructions in the Bible and examples in the Bible, tells us that Yah made women for the purpose of also being happy and having pleasure. You know, when Yah created Adam and Eve, he blessed them, he says, and he told them to be fruitful and multiply. And that word bless, if you look it up in the Greek and Hebrew, the word bless means to be happy. So Yah made us sisters with the intention for us to be happy and having sexual desire for our husbands, for Adam, is actually something that would be wonderful and is possible when you follow the structure and the instructions of the Torah, the Bible. So I'm here to talk to you, my sisters, about how biblical marriage fuels female sexual desire. And let me just sit down, grab a cup of tea. Just let's take it easy, just for a little minute here. Think about the time when you had your first crush, especially if I'm speaking to my sisters who are around 25 to 45. Okay, you guys are still in your peak of your sexual desires. Remember the time you had your first crush? You didn't know jack squat about the man. You didn't. It wasn't because you knew all about his mama and his aunties, his uncles, his emotional intelligence, his stories. You didn't care. You didn't care because you're a woman. And we make up the stories in our head. We fill in the gaps about the man in our head, in our imagination. Especially if you were a young woman who was raised in a good home or secure home, and you had the privilege of just playing with dolls and being imagining a life together in the future, playing house. You filled in the gaps of your imagination growing up as a child to get pleasure. And there's something about a female's imagination that is so powerful that it's our mind that makes us desire something. It's our desires are internalized. So if I really look at my husband and I'm thinking about him in a like he's a king, like he's a master, that he has high value, that other women want him and other women long for him. If I feel that imagination in my mind, then I too want him. And it's the same thing with when you just got a first crush. You didn't know much about the man or about the young man. You made up stories in your head about who you thought he could be, who you dreamt he would be in the future. You imagined about his what he was doing for the day, even if back in the day you didn't have texts, or maybe you did have texts, and the less he would text you back, the more you gave your time desire to long for him. But the and then the crush came because of your imagination, right? What you thought of him, how you felt about him. We like men who make us feel desirable. We like men who give us the space to desire them. However, reflect back on the men that turned you off eventually. Like at first you liked them, then you dated them. I don't really believe in dating, but I'm just telling you, if you are dating, right? You went out for a couple days with them. Hopefully you didn't sleep with them, but some of you did. And then you start to get to know them a little bit too late, right? Because the man is always in your living room or always taking you out, and he's talking about his day and his work and his friends and his mama and his aunties and his dog. He tells you everything about himself. And then you start hearing it and hearing it, and he's always available. When you text him 5 minutes later, he's answering you back. You start losing interest in him because he's always available. Like he'll do everything for you. I know. You're just thinking he's a nice guy. I mean, he looks good. He's a nice guy. And then you start getting the ick, right? Come on, let's be honest. You start getting the ick for the guy because he's too available. He's too nice, you say. And then we confuse that thinking that we need the bad guy. That's not true. But it's because he's too close. You're becoming too familiar. You can smell his underwear. He leaves things, socks all over the place. He smells a little. The whole point is that you're too familiar. He's always available, always there. And then this is the part that really starts giving in to you and you're killing your sexual desire. Is that okay? You kind of tolerate that and he proposes to you, right? Because he's a nice man. Maybe he has a good job and you think, well, I don't know why I'm not feeling so sexually attracted to him. Like at first I did, the honeymoon season passed and I'm going to get married to him in the traditional Western state license way. And you go commit yourself to monogamy, right? And you want to seal this man to yourself, to have him all for yourself. And so this man who has shown himself to be faithful to you because that's why you agreed to marry him, he has not shown interest in other women. And so you think, oh, he's a good husband, right? Beta man, right? And you decide to marry with him. Now, this is not what I'm encouraging, but this is what happens, right? And so you get married to this man, and he continues to be his loyal, monogamous self. And you are like, "Oh, well, he's a good Christian. He's a good man because he doesn't have eyes for nobody else, and he's only looking at me." And every Friday, we have dinner, we go out date night, and then he expects sex. And so we have intimacy together, and it becomes routine. So I dress up like a maid, or I dress up like something else to entertain him, because the creativity has to be there to stir my interest. And no matter what, I'm getting bored. And you're wondering, why am I getting bored with this relationship? Why is the fire dying in me? Why am I looking at this man who's always there? Like he takes out the trash, he takes care of the kids, he helps with the housework, he calls you during the day to check up on you to see if you're okay. He's there to sit and listen to your long, long stories about how bad your sister taught treated you or some friend pissed you off, and he hears this and he listens to you and he gives you some feedback, and he's becomes like a good girlfriend to you, really. And you're bored. He's a nice man, but you're bored. He's a nice man and you lost your sexual attraction to him. And now you're just like starfish sex. I mean, listen, if you're coming this far and you're like 18 and younger, you might want to change the YouTube channel. I'm talking to mature women here about sexuality, okay? After a while, the sex in the room gets boring, and women blaming themselves, or they start blaming the man, and they go to porn, or they go to other female websites to find out more ways of trying to pleasure him and dressing up in the bedroom with lingerie and costumes, and you try to imagine different things, trying to heal your sex life, and it's still boring, right? No matter what, it fades away. And then soon, what the kicker is that the man's availability, his willingness to talk to you, his willingness to always be there and help you, his willingness to concede to you all the time, to not make you upset. And if he does, he apologizes all the time. Yeah, you have a partnership. He's always asking your advice. He's always asking you before he does something what you think about it. And your girlfriends are like, "Oh, he's such a respectful man. He always involves you in his plans." And you're like, "Yeah, I know." So you tell him, and all these things that I'm listing degrades the man in your imagination to be eye level with you, like your equal, or to be below you, like your son. So he's either eye level, like you're equal, or below you, but you're not looking up to him because that infatuation of, ooh, wow, what a wonderful man, because he is stronger than me, smarter than me, he is intelligent. Oh, I have a longing to be with his presence and just have a minute of his time. Oh, the value of his time because he's so busy has gone because he's always there. I mean, he comes home at night regularly. You don't have to worry about where he is because you check on his phone and he leaves his phone right there. Like you read it, scroll it. There's not even a hint of any flirtation with any woman. And you complain, right? In your heart, you don't really say it out loud, that you've lost desire. And then you start resenting even serving the man because now you're cooking and you're cleaning, you're doing his laundry, and you see him like your boy, like a grown child, and you start disrespecting him. You don't even know why, because physically you already lost attraction to him. So he's no longer a sexual item, a sexual desire of yours. He's like a friend. And then he's like a friend who doesn't go home to his own place. He's like a friend that stayed too long in your apartment, right? And you get tired of him. And now you resent having to feed him and serve him. And you think, oh gosh, he's always there. And now I'm just, why am I doing this for? Why am I doing all this? I have no attraction to this man. And then I have to give him sex and I have to serve him. I don't feel like it, right? And okay, you do it because you feel obliged to do it like a duty. And now you complain that your marriage is like servitude and men are like just, treating you like helpmates, what they are, and you are, but you see yourself like a maid to him. And now you treat him on the same level as your children if you have children with him. And you see how this concept of prescriptive monogamy has a way of filtering out the desire and pushing it out the door, and you're running on empty. I say that there's a better way, and that is biblical marriage. If you think that this is the only way, you're being deceived. And I think this has a lot to do with why there's so much divorce right now in this world, because women have been sold a pack of lies about prescriptive monogamy and about relationships and what they should be and how they should be. And Christian women also have been taught a whole bunch of lies about polygamy, thinking that it's adultery, which it is not. So polygamy, biblical marriage, okay, has a couple aspects to it. And let me just go through that first. The definition of biblical marriage is, first of all, a patriarchal leadership of the husband. He is the head over you, okay? Like Corinthians says, when Paul says, he is the head over you. You have to submit to him in all things. And so when you have a patriarchal husband, he who gives you commands, it's like going to work for your boss. You don't complain about it. You go, you do your duty, you want to serve him. Yes, you like the pay, but you also like to be a good at your boss, good at your work. If you're a secretary, if you're a manager, if you're assistant, you're working for the man, right? The same thing with your husband. You work with him under his mission for him. And in biblical marriage, the woman is put there like Eve to be a helpmate, okay, under the patriarchal leadership of her husband, who's strong, who holds frame. The second one is that the option of polygamy is always there. So even if you're married to in a biblical marriage, there is always an option for the man to biblically be able to take on more than one wife, even if he doesn't do it, even if he's currently only with you and you're the only one attached to him. He has a legal right to. Because the definition of adultery in Bible is when a man goes and steals and takes another man's wife, like David did to Bathsheba. That was adultery. And when a man goes to his neighbor's wife and takes his neighbor's wife, he's stealing from him, and that is adultery because the woman is taken already. But if it's a single woman and a man wants another wife, he has the option of having a single woman. He first should go through the headship of her father because she belongs to her father, but he asks, negotiates, and pays the bride price, and he takes the wife and he takes them to himself, and there's no ceremony needed. There's no marriage certificate, no judge, no courtroom, nothing. It's just a commitment, a union between a man and a woman in biblical marriage. Okay. And he could have more than one. Just the idea, though, of a man having more than one or the ability to have will change the dynamics of your relationship. I told you about how you get bored, but when you know that you're in a biblical marriage and your husband has the option, he doesn't have to act on the option, but he has the option always to have another woman. It'll change everything about the way you desire this man. Because right now you are in competition in the sense that even before it takes one on, you want to keep yourself sharp. You want to keep yourself, up there as a wife in terms of making sure that you're serving him and submissive to him and obedient to him and loving towards him. And when he does find another wife, you're not competing with the other wife, as she's another member of his body, but you start thinking of him in a higher way because there is more than one of you desiring him. He becomes more desirable in your eyes. He's not always available. He's not there 24 hours because he's spending some time with his other family, with his other woman. He doesn't owe you any explanation about anything because he's a patriarchal leader, just like your boss doesn't owe you an explanation about every move he makes. It is his business to dictate to you what needs to be done. If he if he's constantly having to explain his moves and explain and ask permission, then he's no longer the leader. The leader does not have to explain and ask permission. The subordinate person underneath, if he gets that, that's great, but you cannot demand that, right? And the matter of fact, the more that a man has to explain and has to ask permission from you, the less he is leading you. And the more you disvalue, you disrespect him, and he goes lower. It's like a little boy now asking, Mommy, can I go outside and play? Mommy, can I get another friend? Mommy, I like this friend over there. Can I take them home? And that's what you see the man is doing. And he becomes in your head lower than you in authority. And then you don't have any sexual attraction for somebody lower than you. You have attraction for somebody higher than you. And biblical marriage maintains that with the patriarchal leadership and the option of a man to have another wife. And all of a sudden, when a woman has a sister wife over there in her in the family, oh my goodness, it changes your desire. The Torah allows this, and then there's also the cleanliness laws in Leviticus that we'll go through another time, where gives the woman some sacred space with the husband so that there's no threesomes happening. It's just you and your husband in the marriage bed, and you do have some intimate times. And because your time is limited with him, you have to share it with the other wife or wherever he wants to go. He has family, he has children, he has work, he's on a mission. He is so busy on his mission that when he has time and shows time to you, you appreciate it and you long for it, and it gives you the desire to seek him out. And in your imagination you dream about, oh my goodness, oh, that was good when he did this and that, and you know what, I long to have that time with him again. And your desire builds up, it has time to build up. And that's rhythm of withdrawal and building up is what's missing in monogamy. When the man is always there, always available, you have no time to desire him. He's in your bed every night. But when he's not, and you have to share him with another woman and another night, you don't always have the same night. You don't always are available because sometimes you're on your menstruals and you're not allowed to, biblically speaking, have any intimacy with your husband. It gives you time now to wait and heal and long for, and then your time together sexually is going to be stronger, especially when you are following the cleanliness laws of Leviticus and also just appreciating the man more. So women lose desire in monogamy. Women get turned off by a man who is always available, always accessible, always emotionally unloading on you all his problems. It sounds nice, eh? Because romantic books tell you that's what it's good. But it's not true in reality. You don't want another boyfriend like that. You want a husband. And when you treat your man like a husband and stop asking him to be emotionally open to expressing all himself all the time, stop it. Because what you're asking for, you don't really want it. As soon as he does that, you lose respect in his eyes. You know that in your heart. He goes down in your emotions because your imagination is better than the reality. It's like what I think he's up to is more appealing in my mind than what he actually is up to. Like the man could be at work and he's a plumber and he's just doing his stuff. But because I don't see him every day and I don't have knowledge of what he's up to all the time, I can imagine much more grander things in my head. And I don't need to always hear all his stories unless he feels like it. But the story in your head is a lot better, and you look up to him more, and you share your intimate times with him more. And that's why we sisters actually need each other for our on our own level, because women are at the same level, in authority to share, because you don't really get tired of your girlfriends when you talk a lot. And you don't, right? You matter of fact, you like it when they tell you about all the details of their lives. And you enjoy the intimate times you have with your girlfriends when you talk about all your troubles. But then give it to the man to do the same thing. You've now brought the man who was an authority over you down to the level of girlfriend, and now you expect to be sexually attracted to him. It doesn't work. Men communicating and bonding with men in like in emotionally getting them sorting themselves out and getting advice from men is great. Women doing the same thing with women is awesome because we're on the same level. It's like we're on the same staff group. We can work out the management. You can work out how to organize the children, the food, the clothing, what we're doing in terms of entertainment for the house together as sister wives. And we talk about our emotions and our feelings with each other as sisters. That's all good. I can also talk about my emotions to my husband and all that too, but to expect him to come down to my level, yes, I said to my level in authority, and to spread his heart open to me at all times, it eventually dries things up. It does. Let's just be honest. It does. It makes them ordinary. You lose desire eventually. But biblical marriage fuels that desire. Polygamy introduces a healthy longing, a healthy competition. I really like Solomon. Song of Solomon is 3 verse 3 to 4. Songs of Solomon 5, 3 to 4 says, I have taken up my dress. This is the lover. Solomon's one of his wives. He says, I've taken up my dress. How can I put it on again? I have washed my feet. How can I get it dirty again? My beloved extends his hand through the opening, and my feelings were stirred for him. Now, this is a woman's imagery of her longing for her husband. And note that Solomon had a lot of wives. Yet, the fact that he was rare made her long for him. In the middle of the night, she was always longing for him. And when he reached out for her, it was special. He stirred up love within her. He stirred up the passion within her. Not because he was available all the time, not because he was sleeping with her all the time. The man's time and attention are sacred, and they should be sacred. Making them a high value to us in our heart, it should be your priority to keep yourself on guard for disrespect. Like every time you think you might be losing some respect for your husband, it's possibly time for you to pull back and think, where am I in my imagination pulling him down to my level or treating him like an equal? I need to look up to him and encourage biblical polygyny. Sarah offered Hagar to her husband, and Rachel offered and Leah offered their handmaidens to their husband. And there's something about offering it. I mean, just offering it, it's his choice to take it or not. But that tells you that I'm available for that embracing biblical polygamy. And it is for your benefit, my sisters. This is why I'm having this discussion. It's not just for his benefits, it's for your benefit. Because when you do that, you open up yourself to a new experience that is abundant experience. The man has an abundance. He has more workers in his household, more people to take care of the children, more people to take care of the household business, more income to come in. You have more support. You have more time to have sexual intimacy with him because there's built-in babysitters and there's people to cover, to cook and clean. There's people to help talk with you when you're feeling low and take care of you when you're sick. There is a family dynamic that supports a woman. And that too helps you maintain and feel your sexual desire when you do connect. It's like employees eager to please together. You're eager to please your head, your master, your husband. And having a sister wife who's also equally eager to please and to bless and to operate in unison is a blessing. And it can be created. It can be if you're intentionally walking that way and not forced into it. It is amazing when you intentionally do it. And that's why I'm here in Call for Wisdom, trying to encourage your sisters to intentionally embrace biblical marriage and biblical polygyny. Do it without somebody dragging you into it. Open your arms for it. Because polygamy, biblical polygamy, this builds an attraction that's not just a duty anymore. Like monogamy eventually can feel like a duty, but when you have the freedom, like Solomon says in Songs of Solomon 2, verse 5, the lover says, sustain me with raisin cakes, refresh me again with apples because I'm lovesick. Lovesick is like I'm intoxicated. I have the crush. I have a crush on my husband again. When last did you have a crush on your husband? The crush comes when there's competition. The crush comes when there's, and when I say competition, I don't even mean like you're jealous, but the fact that there's other women there to stir up the desire. And that is what's happening in that song. If you like Songs of Solomon, just always remember that this is a polygynous family. This woman and this man, they're polygynous. She has one husband, Solomon, but he has many wives. And yet all of them are in unison and enjoying their sexuality as well. The contrast is scarcity versus availability. Scarcity equals desire. It helps you desire the leadership of the man. You want his direction. And when he has a little bit of distance, you want to pull him back once in a while so you can enjoy it. It gives you a strength. It keeps your imagination alive. Availability equals a loss of attraction. If he's always available, you're going to lose attraction eventually. And that's what happens after 20, 30 years of marriage in monogamy, prescriptive monogamy, that eventually sex dries up and nothing's happening anymore. Always present, always waiting, always asking for your permission. He becomes low value to you. A polygynous man, though, is busy with life and his responsibility, and he keeps wives in a state of longing. And Solomon is a prime example. He had 1,000 wives, or a few hundred wives and concubines, and it made him rare. His time was rare with them. Solomon says, Songs of Solomon 3, verse 1 says, on my bed night after night I sought him, whom my soul desires and loves. I sought him, but I didn't find him. And that was the longing of the wife. It's like, I'm looking, I'm desiring every night. Desire is a good thing because when you do get it, you feel refreshed and you appreciate it more. One of my favorite Psalms is the warning at the end of Song of Solomon that is repeated 3 times. 8 verse 4 says, I want you to swear, my daughters of Jerusalem. Swear, the daughters of Jerusalem. Do not arouse or awaken love until it pleases. So it's important to not fake arousal. Wait until it genuinely is in there. And a lot of time in prescriptive monogamy, women fake arousal. We fake attraction. Yeah, at the beginning it was good because it was rare and we didn't get a lot of him. But after 5, 6 years of the same old same man, you know he's not going nowhere. You're faking it. But Solomon says, don't do that, daughters. Don't arouse it or don't awaken it until it desires. And it comes naturally with the rhythm of polygamy. In monogamous marriages, the wife is often feels like she must be sexually available every time the man is interested. And if he's in the mood, you kind of open up and do it because she's the only available option that he has. But in biblical marriage, there's other women, other wives, another wife who can give him that. And all of a sudden, you now know that if you're not in the mood because of your hormones or you're on your menstruals or you're recovering from illness, it's okay. You can get in the mood, and you will get in the mood when you see that your other wife is having pleasure. It makes you want to get in the mood, and that is the natural rhythm that polygamy stirs up in a woman. It's not like you're really jealous of the other wife, but you're pleased that she's happy. You know that you'll have your turn. You know that it's coming to you too, and you long for it. So polygamy provides natural space for desire to grow and to mature, and intimacy to be shared in a reverent way. So I just want to encourage you guys to do that. Now, my platform right now is not about debating whether or not biblical marriage polygamy is a sin or not. It's not a sin. But if you're in the chats trying to debate me, especially if you're a man, I don't really debate with men. If you're a sister and you want to find the biblical proof of it being a valid form of marriage, I'm going to drop some answers to you in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, let me know what you think. Do you think that polygamy feeds and fuels sexual desire in women like I do? Let me know. Thanks for hanging out with me. Call for wisdom. Blessings, my sisters.